Good morning, it's Leanne Peters here, and I'm here to create our personal healing event for some of my Temple of Balance patrons. So, thank you so much for being here today. I have 5 people on my list, and I've popped you in my little pots, and I'll pluck your names out as I go. So if you're not on the list today, I'm sure it's no accident that you happen to be here. So what I suggest is that you be open to receiving what you need and see what comes up in other people's guidance and energy work that they're receiving that resonates with you. And if you're waiting for your turn, I would do the same. Now, if I am connecting with you, just take some nice big breaths and be open to receiving what you need, and we'll go with the flow and see what happens. So I'll be spending approximately 10 minutes with each person. I'll start and end a bookmark, bookend they call it. I'll start and finish each connection with a healing energy card. That's the way, just the way I like to do it and connect. Sometimes the cards are significant, sometimes they're not. It's just probably a habit really that I've gotten into for starting and finishing. So the way I tune in is a bit hard to explain, but it works for me. And the way I do it is that when I tune into someone, and I only tune in when I'm doing this sort of thing, I don't tune into people in the supermarket or willy-nilly because it's not my business to, and I've got other things to do. So I only tune in when I need to. Hi, Snake. And or when I have the permission to. And when I tune in and I'm thinking of this person's name or this person, whoever it is, I imagine that I'm them. So what that means is, like, I know the configuration of my energy very, very well. So I know how it feels to be me. I know what it feels like in my body and how I'm feeling. So when I tune into people, I start feeling different things happening in my body that I don't usually feel, and I know that's not my stuff. And through experience over a couple of decades now, I've been able to sort of hone in on those differences in me, and then express express my interpretation of that as best as I can. So that's the main way that I tune into people. Is I'm sensitive, I'm a feeler, I'm an empath or clairsentient. Hi, Kathleen. So then I interpret that as best as I can. Sometimes I get visuals, or gut feelings, so I trust all that as well. So I don't take on other people's stuff. I think that's why I actually pull my cards at the bookend of each connection, is that one signals the start and the other signals the end, and that's that. And then I focus on the next person. So because this is healing time, it's not guidance, so like a reading. So healing time also means that as I'm tuning in and I feel things probably happening in my body, then I'm also feeling of what feels right, what feels like it needs to go, what feels like it needs to be strengthened. And so I'm always questioning and interpreting and deciding what I think is best to do with the energy to help it be at an optimum by the end. So that's sort of that. I think that's about all. So enjoy. Thanks for being here. Let's see who's first. In my little transformation pot. This was one of my first little pottery pots I made. It's very thick, but actually I made this one on the wheel, which I don't really use the wheel very often. So first today is Jane Corlett. So Jane, please take a nice big breath, and let's see which healing energy card wants to start your connection today. So I'm feeling already, as I'm tuning in, I'm feeling a rush of energy that feels like a river or a fast moving stream that's moving across the lower back area, and it feels very cooling, but it also feels like it's moving energy away, like wanting to carry away debris and energy that's been building up in the lower back here. So that's what I'm feeling straight away. Oh, and that's interesting, the flow of love. So this is about going deeper within yourself, but this is like a river or a stream. I don't know if I've written this here, but no, I haven't. But I always feel with this card, it's like a river, but then dropping deeper into the underground stream. So moving into a deeper sense of connection with yourself, a deeper sense of self-love, we could say. So that river energy is moving in very, very strongly. And so it's picking up momentum. And I feel it coming across on the right and just moving through almost like it goes partly into the body, probably not quite halfway into the depth of the body, but partly in, maybe a third of the way into the body, and it's carrying away stuff from the lower back. So the lower back is the back of the sacral chakra, and the sacral chakra sits below the navel, and it's our center for emotional, sexual, and creative energies. Now, it has a zone like all of the chakras. So the zone of the sacral chakra is the front below the navel, but also comes around to the lower back. So when the energy's doing things in the lower back, it tends to talk about past emotional stuff, like emotional baggage or emotional issues that we're carrying from the past. Sometimes too, it could be like sexual issues from the past, or blocked creativity, but that tends to be more held in the front of the body. But it could be blocked creativity too from the past. So the stream, the river energy is moving through, and what I feel it to be doing is collecting things that have built up and gathered and collected over time here in your lower back, Jane. So how I'm seeing this is like crates and boxes and rocks, but very much crates. Crates seem to be quite strong here, and so they're wooden crates, and things have been locked away in them, like stored away and gathered, and things have gathered over time and stacked up here. It's like here in Australia anyway, on the heavy trash day of the month or whenever it might be, people put all their big items out for pickup. So things gather, like couches and washing machines that have broken and old TVs and boxes of whatever. So it all starts accumulating and gathering. And I know when we would add to it, we'd clear up over the space of a couple of days. So it would start with one thing, and then you clear up and you add to it and add to it. And it feels like that, like things have been added to over time that you've been ready or you've been preparing to let go of, but haven't actually fully let go of it yet. So it's like being put out for trash. It's been put out for collection, and it feels like it's been collected now and it's been carried away. So there's quite big things here, and they feel quite dark, and they feel quite locked up in these crates. So I can't see exactly what they are, but I feel like they're old emotional energy that's being stored. So the river is now collecting all this and just washing it away and washing it downstream. And as this stuff washes away, and it washes away one by one, I can feel energy also moving in the heart, like the heart energy. So there's something very personal that's also connected with some of this stuff that you're releasing here at your lower back that feels personal and very much connected to your heart. So it could be connected with old relationships or old hurt that you have in relationships. It's something that's affected you quite close and quite deeply in your heart that has an emotional or even a sexual tie to it. So releasing that. So releasing the ties too that you feel in your heart to these things, and your tie. Hopefully I'm back. I think we had a glitch. So anyway, I just paused for a moment, but I can feel energy also as we're getting the last of that energy away through the lower back, the heart at the front. The last of it now going is also pulling ties at the throat. So these are things probably that you thought made up your identity or made up who you were, that you were this type of person based on what happened or based on this relationship. But actually you can let that tie go as well. And it does feel like ties. It feels like shoelaces all tied up, and they're being pulled and then cut away and break away as they move down with this stream, this river, and basically go away and returned back to love, because all this is just energy. So it's just energy. When it's configured within you as an issue or whatever it might be, then that's what the energy is made up. That's what it's made up of, that issue or that whatever. And then as it moves away and as we let it go, I imagine it just returns back to neutral, back to energy, back to the earth. So it feels like you've just had a really deep clear out here. So your lower back here, which must be connected in with your base chakra, because a few times now I've gone to say base chakra, even though it feels very strongly here in your lower back. But your lower back and then your base chakra too will add into that. So your base chakra is about things that are connected with your survival. So struggles to survive, especially finances, health, security, that sort of thing. So I feel like there's been a tie here as well. So releasing through there, through your tailbone and also through your heart and your throat. So these feel now like they're cleared, like there's space and there's room here now. But it feels like like a tree or a bush or something that may always often have its wind come from the west or whatever. And it seems to have this western sort of lean, this lean, like the wind has eventually coaxed it to actually have a lean on it. And that's what I feel here, like we're now leaning to the left from all this water that's sort of pushed through. So we now just need to bring your energy back to the right and back to center and back into alignment. And as it pops into alignment, so as we get that alignment spot, I can feel all this energy coming down from the universe. It's a very deep blue, so probably not quite midnight blue, but a very deep royal dark blue is coming in from the universe above and coming straight into your crown, and it's filling you up now. It's doing something very special and specific. It feels in your throat chakra as it comes through your whole body. Your throat chakra is really actively, it feels like soaking this up. There's a lot of tickly, tingly kind of energy moving here in the throat, as I feel like you're establishing yourself and you're establishing a new sense of security and stability. And I feel like linked in with this, which might be an angle you haven't really thought of, I feel like linked in with this too, Jane, is self-trust. So your ability to trust in yourself is also very much establishing and solidifying, and it feels quite concrete. It feels quite substantial, this energy that's collecting and gathering here in your throat. So self-trust is connected here as well. But this blue energy moves down through your whole body and very much amplified, we could say, or highlighted here at your throat chakra. It goes down to your feet and you're feeling nice and connected, above and below, nice and balanced and in alignment, and quite free, like there's space within you now, like there's room for you to move or room to think somehow. So I trust this supports you, Jane. Thank you so much. Let's grab a card to finish this connection and see what that wants to add. And the best card is this from Healing Energy Cards Deck 2. And it's the Turtle. Own your power. It says, move forward with strength. Strengthen yourself. Take ownership of your power in a healthy, empowering and proactive way, and proceed. So there's action and there's movement in this. And again, we've got this water element now. But instead of the water, I don't know that the water element was there before. It felt a bit dry before, and like the water wanted to come in and kind of wash things away. And it feels like now you're swimming in this stream, swimming in this water, or in the flow of your life. So thank you so much. Thanks, Jane. Namaste. Thanks for your support. Okay, let's pop your other card back and see who's next. So next person is this person. It's Susan Sonsteng. Susan, welcome, and please take a nice big breath. Let's see which card you need to start things off today. Okay, so the first thing I'm feeling is energy moving in the right leg, especially the upper part of the thigh here. And the legs tend to be about movement, direction. We've got this card. Oh, Awakening card 11. This is nice, isn't it? Hi, Susan. Excellent. So I'm going to read this. It says it's time to open up and move towards the unknown. Interesting. Considering I was already talking about the legs, so direction, movement. New beginnings are birthing. A new awakening is occurring. Transformation. And this really punches in the heart. Almost like this feels like it's impressed now over the heart here for you, Susan. Like there's some transformation, some change that's taking place in your body and especially in your heart. And it feels like a butterfly, and a butterfly that's preparing, or it's, for some reason it's got its wings outstretched already and it's preparing to leave the heart. Almost like the heart is its cocoon, but it's not curled up in the cocoon, it's open in the cocoon. So it's like the heart is the safe place. And in the safe place, in privacy, your heart has been transforming. You have been changing, perhaps quite privately and quite personally, behind closed doors, we could say, but not tucked away, hiding away. Actually, all that hard work you've done has opened you up in the heart more than probably what you're aware of. And I feel now the butterfly, this part of your heart that's grown, that's shifted, it wants to come out. So it sort of feels to me like the butterfly's looking for a way out. It's looking for a way now to get out into the world, to be more, to feel more purpose, to feel more meaning. And there might be a part of you that's looking for your tribe. There might be a part of you that's looking for a next goal or the next thing or something you can actually do in your life where you're bringing this beautiful transformative feeling out into the world, and you might be looking for that now. And as I talk about that, I'm being drawn back to this, the upper part here, so the thigh of the right leg. So the right leg is about stepping out into the future and stepping forward now, stepping out of the rut, stepping out of ourselves, stepping out of our comfort zone. And I feel your right leg wants to move, it wants to take a step forward. Now if you are not sure right now what this looks like in your life, which is how it kind of feels, it feels like there's this pull, but what this looks like feels unknown. In fact, there's a big question mark around that, and it feels a little bit like it's clouded in, or covered in darkness, in cloud, in uncertainty, and it's the unknown. So you might not know where you're going or how this looks or how this is going to play out in your life yet, and especially potentially moving into next year. But I feel that things are going to reveal. So if you can just keep trusting in the call that you have, the pull for bringing what you've been working on, what you've been growing and brewing and discovering internally and privately, if you can keep following that pull to bring it out, then you're going to align yourself up with the right people at the right time and the right situations that will take you out of that space and into where you need to be, in regards to the next step and the calling that you have for more purpose, more meaning, and something, and it feels like a nest, something comforting, but takes you out of your comfort zone in some ways, but creating a new nest for yourself, a new nest to tend to, a new nest with people that you can care for, and things that you can do that work with who you are, with your personality. So that feels strong. So there's a strong forward pull here, and a patience also that's necessary, because things aren't clear yet in regards to what these things will look like moving forward. So with this pull forward and your right leg wanting to come forward, I just feel like I want to bring your body into alignment on the front back sort of area, on the front back level, because it feels like the pull is strong. So just making sure your body's aligned in the front back axis. And so bringing I feel like your spine here just really anchoring into position, really aligning into center. Here at your heart, I can feel the butterfly wings and the butterfly wings and this blossoming and this blooming inside you, that there is much that you have to offer and much that you have to give and much that you have to bring out into the world. And I feel like you've spent so long, it feels like quite a long time, privately blossoming and blooming and working through your grief and your things that you've been personally working through, and just letting the last of that go, which feels like a deep surrender, especially dropping through the burdens that you carry, the burden that you carry in your shoulders. And it feels like it's time for you to come out of yourself and out of your shell now and fly out into the world. And I feel that you're fast approaching a T junction in your life, which feels like a decision, a bit of a crossroads where you probably have a choice to make as well. A choice to stay privately working through your things, or to make that choice to take the right turn. The right turn is the correct turn, and the right turn will take you towards a more fulfilled sense of purpose in your life. It feels more worldly, and you'll be able to bring that you've been doing internally out into the world in that worldly sense. Okay, so with this aligning and this dropping of burden here in your shoulders, this surrendering, it feels like surrendering of that burden now, and a building of confidence, confidence in being able to take what you've been doing so privately, that's kind of your comfort zone now, and taking that out into the world, into this world, in this worldly manner that I'm feeling. Feels to be, out of your comfort zone. So building up your confidence to step forward is also occurring here, and I feel a rise here in your solar plexus chakra of strength and courage and confidence to back up this pull to step out into the world and out into creating a fulfilling external life in some ways that also fulfills you internally. Now down to your feet, and your feet just want to be kind of anchored down into the ground. So there's grounding taking place. It's now grounding all of this energy into your body and down into your feet, and helping you align with the present moment and also align with your body itself. And there's this sense here now of there's plenty of time, there's no rush, you can trust in perfect timing as you put your feelers out there and get a sense of what's next and what's calling you forward in your life. But also even though there's no rush, it also feels like it is time to step out. Okay, Susan, let's grab a card to add here. I trust this makes sense to you. The best card to add is this. It's this card here, the flow of love again. So this is about your calling to move deeper into yourself. And to go deeper into yourself now is to take yourself out into more worldly things, and finding a sense of fulfillment in what you create and the connections that you make and the things that you're doing and the help that you provide in others. So I feel this deeper sense of self-love is you moving, and I feel like you're going into this. It feels like you've done a lot of work on yourself, and you've confronted a lot about yourself, and there might be a part of you that feels a bit fearful in the call and the pull to step out into the world, because you don't want to disrupt this beautiful space that you've created in your heart for the most part. But it's a way to deepen and expand that, is to step out and bring that out into the world just a little bit more. And it doesn't have to be a lot, it can just be something small that helps you fulfill that desire and fulfill that, or expand that feeling that you have inside. So you can trust in your natural rhythm as you move deeper into yourself. And as you move deeper into yourself, you bring yourself out as well at the same time. So flow of love. Thanks so much, Susan. Thanks for your support. Namaste. Okay, thanks, Susan. Okay, let's pop these cards back and see who's next. So next today, or next now, is KantiDevi. So Kanti, nice big breath. And your best card is this one. We've got Anticipation Anxiety, and it's card 59. It says nerves, stepping into new territory, starting something new, something that goes against your truth, change, don't jump ahead, and breathe. Oh, I've got a sneeze coming on. Okay, so I'm feeling something happening here in the small part of your neck here on the right side. And I just need to get this sneeze to pass because that's drawing my attention. Okay. Okay, so what feels like it's happening here, it feels to me like a sword, a very long, thin sword. And it feels like energetically it's been put in here into this part of your neck. And I wouldn't be surprised. My sense here is that this is a past life, the end of your life in a past life that is coming to the forefront now. So I can feel this blade in here, and it goes right down deep into the body and into the heart, especially on the right side here, on the right side of the chest. So it moves down, and it's really long and thin. So there's a lot of energy moving here. There's a lot of tingling that's happening as well. There's a heaviness that's coming over the head, over on the right side. So it feels like it's coming over like this and pushing the head down. And in fact, there might be a head down. This could be an execution of sorts because it feels like your head was moved down to end your life in this way. And it feels like you're a soldier in a war, a male soldier in the war at this time. But it doesn't feel like it was in battle. It feels like it feels to me like you went against the narrative. You went against the it feels like some type of king. The king's not quite the right word, but some type of leader, like a king. And you went against the wishes of, or the narrative of, or the requests of the king or the leader at the time. And going against those requests from the leader because you were following your truth led to what it feels to be in this past life as your execution. Now, not only is this bringing up this wound, there's also energy now, like fresher energy that's stirring here at the front of the throat. And it feels like you can't go against your truth. And ultimately in this particular lifetime that I'm connecting with, it led to your passing. But still you stand by your truth. And even though you've been tested in this lifetime with that, I feel like you're coming to this point now where you're again standing up and living and embodying your truth. There might be a part of you that's kind of, got one ear pricked, on cautious, like maybe someone's going to come from behind and end your life because of this past life. So there might be just a slight, like, memory that's coming up that might have you sort of on edge when you speak your truth, that you're going to be under attack or executed, let's say. But what I feel like I want to do is I want to remove this sword because it feels like it's still energetically lodged down in your body here. So I want to remove that, and then we'll see where we go from here. So it feels like it sort of comes down this area, and I can feel it sort of come down, hitting in your heart, but your head very much tilted over to have this happen, and it feels like someone had to hold your head here. So now just pulling out this energetic sword, it feels black and it's totally covered in blood. So this also shows that there's a connection here through your bloodline and the family that also is connected with this issue. And the sharp, but it also doesn't feel that sharp, but the force of this sword and the pain that's coming up around the base of the skull as well. So these are old trust issues that are surfacing. So old trust issues are coming up. Energy stirring in the throat. Energy should be stirring in the heart, but I don't feel anything there yet. But it's definitely the throat and definitely the base of the skull. There's a lot of energy moving here. And actually also around the eyes and how you perceive things and how you perceive leaders to be, or how you perceive authority figures to be. We can also add that there. So the sword has been removed and it just is placed down on the ground, on the earth, where it returns back to love. So definitely strong bloodline connection here as well, with all that blood in there, and it's probably been playing out in your life, in this particular lifetime, through your bloodline as well. So letting that go. And okay, now what do we need to do? Pull your head over and into position, into alignment here. And now feeling this energy, this area here on the right side of your shoulder and the small of your neck, and also the space where the sword was inside, filling this all up with this really quite bright green light. And it flows down into your body and also hovers around here in this area, like you've got a small basketball here of green light. It feels quite soft, like a cloud like in some ways. And it feels a bit moist as well, so it's bringing a refreshing feeling, a balance to the sharpness of the sword is a softness and a misty sort of feeling here, which brings a refreshment as well. And now this energy feels like it moves around the base of the skull and just gently kind of holds you here at the base of your skull, here at the back of your third eye chakra. And it's just offering you comfort and support as you release those old trust issues. And as you surrender them and as you imagine them flying away and leaving you now. And I see this bird, it looks like an eagle, flying away and carrying all those old trust issues away. And now into your throat here. So the greeny light now becomes a bit more blue, so a bit more like an aqua or a turquoise, and it sweeps in here into your throat, just really gently and just softening and comforting in your throat chakra. And now it whips up around on the left side and surrounds your whole head and fills your whole head in this turquoise light. It's like a space helmet or something that you're wearing, so it feels quite circular. And it's just helping clear and calm and soften this energy all through your head, from your neck and around. And now I can feel it coming down through your body. So we've got this kind of lollipop on the top of your head and then this stick. So it comes down through your spine, down through your heart, to your solar plexus, to your sacral chakra, and all the way down to your base chakra, in alignment with your spine. And just holding you straight and strong within yourself. And your shoulders nice and balanced. And just this calming feeling is coming over. Just calming and softening you and bringing peace. Peace with yourself and peace with authority. But especially peace with yourself. Okay, let's grab a card here, Kanti. Let's see what this wants to add. And the best card is this. Here. It's the Harvest, card 55. So this is about enjoying the fruits of your labour and your hard work and those seeds that you've tended to over a certain time period that are now bearing fruit. They bear the fruit for you to enjoy, but the fruit also holds the seeds for the next cycle of growth and the next cycle period. So this is suggesting that you're it's suggesting that you are strong in yourself, and it feels like what you are, I don't want to use the word enjoying, so I'm just feeling for another word, and what you're experiencing now in your life that has harvested or has manifest, has actually been the result of seeds that were planted some time ago. And so as you experience these experiences of like eating the fruits of your harvest, of your labor, of your hard work, I feel like the seeds that it's almost like I'm seeing seeds just drop from this big fruit. So it's like a big like pomegranate or something that's full of seeds, and it's like the seeds are already dried, and as you're trying to eat the pomegranate, all the seeds are dropping down like tiny little seeds that are falling from a tree, but they're falling from this pomegranate, and they're small and they're already dried, and they're dropping down to the ground in front of you, and they're all the seeds are laying out like down, sort of concentrated right at your feet, but also just out across a little bit to the sides. And in time they will bear this, these will start to grow, and these will germinate. The ones that are strong enough to germinate will germinate. And then this creates a garden, the garden that you find yourself, because as you tend to things in your life, as you resolve things in your life, as you enjoy the fruits of your labour in your life, then the seeds then from that journey drop down to the ground, the fertile ground around you, and start growing new things. So it feels like you're over this time period of your life, this particular life, that you have been going through these cycles, just cycles and cycles, like seasonal cycles that have you in different places within your garden. And over time now, because you've been around for a few decades, all these different plants, and you're creating a beautiful garden for yourself that feels quite abundant. And I feel like you're at the middle of this garden, and you turn and you eat this different fruit or different food, and more seeds are dropped and more seeds are dropped. So all around you, it's just like this beautiful garden that you're creating. It doesn't feel like it's walled, but it feels like it's contained somehow. And it feels quite beautiful. So this is an acknowledgement of all the effort that you've put in, I feel, Kanti. Enjoy the fruits of your effort and hard work. Balance wisdom, the completion of a phase so that the new can birth. Earth, support and appreciate. So thank you so much, Kanti. I trust this resonates, and thank you for your support. Namaste. Okay, I've got 2 more people left on my list. So I'll just pop these back. And the next person is Nicki Mohler. Nicki, take a nice big breath and let's see what comes up for you. So the best, or there's something pulling up here is the feeling. There's something that wants to uplift. It's like an adult picking up a chair. There's that sort of feeling here. So something is uplifting. Something wants to lighten you and lift you up out of the heaviness. Have this card, Emotional Rebirth, card 67. It says a new level of feeling. Allow how you feel about something or someone to change. Emotional transformation, flow, maturity, and a new perspective. So this is also showing a lot of growth in this particular card, especially emotionally, emotional growth, emotional rebirth. There is this uplifting feeling, like something really wants to lift you up and pull you up. It's like you've had your legs cut off at your hips, or you've been sitting on the ground and your legs have been hidden somehow. And as you're being picked up or pulled up, it's like your legs pop out from your hips and you stand up and you realize actually how tall you are. So I feel like there's been perhaps in general a sense of perhaps a lack of direction, or maybe it's been a time period where you've needed to heal and you've needed to sort of be quieter in yourself. But it feels like something shifted for you fairly recently that's now allowed you to sort of pop up and rise up now and let your legs spring out from under you as you stand up and you stand tall again. And I feel like you've been preparing to face aspects perhaps, or face new parts of your life as confidently as you can. So as you stand up, and as you stand up, so lifting up, standing up, and your whole body lifts up, your legs pop out from under you, and you're now standing here like you haven't stood like this for some time. So you feel tall, you feel like a giant because your view of the world was down, like from the hips up. So it was quite a low, you were quite low to the ground, let's say. So your perspective has also shifted as you've almost doubled in height. Now your legs have popped out from under you, and your feet are finding their balance, their stability on the ground. You're finding your left and right sort of balance here too, with your center of gravity in your body. But the view, it feels like you're a giraffe now, and you're looking from such a high perspective than before, a higher place. So I feel like you've gained a wisdom in your time of healing, in your time of smallness in some ways, but it was necessary for your healing and for your gathering of things. I feel like you've been gathering love, and you've been gathering healing, and you've been gathering understanding of things that have happened, and trying to understand and make sense of things. So as you've been gathering and kind of understanding and finding, it is a deep place that you've gone, and now you're ready to pop up and rise like the phoenix rising from the ashes. So this brings a new perspective, a new view of yourself, and a new view of the world. And you feel so tall. So now you're feeling like, the Eiffel Tower or some really tall tower here, looking around at things in life. So as I'm talking, you just seem to be getting taller and taller, like a giant, like a giraffe, like a tower now, and looking. And it's not like you're looking down at things, you're looking at things now from a new perspective. So what this does, this pops open your heart, and it's like your heart has been like a little circular door, like one of those hobbit doors, but it comes down at the bottom, like there's a hinge, and your heart's just popped open, like a door's just opened here in your heart, a circular door that's kept you safe and kept you secure and kept you healing. That has popped open, and I see this little figure walking out of this door, and this is your inner child, your inner child that needed healing. And probably still requires healing. I don't feel like the healing is over, but I feel like there's a breakthrough, or a advancement, let's say, to your healing that you've reached. And this inner child, which looks like a young male, and to the size of, if your heart here was a door, to the size of that door, and steps out and yawns and stretches like it's been asleep. And so I feel like this inner child part of you is waking up, this inner masculine child, this inner masculine young version of yourself is also awakening, like quite literally awakening. And it's like the sunrise, it's like a brand new day, and this figure's stretching and yawning and looking at the view and the rising of the sun on this new day. Like this is a new dawn now, like something has popped open, something's popped up. Something is now awake inside you that wasn't awake before, because the timing wasn't right. So the timing is right now, and something's awakened and uplifted. So this is tapping into that rise energy that I talk about in the cards, rising up on the on the vertical. Okay, so with this rise up on the vertical, I see an arrow at the top of your head, like an arrowhead that's also pointing you up. And I feel like your sights are moving up to maybe new things, new goals, new potentials that you want to give a go or you want to try. But I feel like your direction is going up. You're looking up at things now. And up is also, connecting to your higher path, your higher plan, up, looking up to spirit and the universe and the creator and higher aspects and elements of life itself, and giving yourself or feeling a sense of meaning that is, I want to use the words like God's plan or the call of the universe. Like it feels quite like a higher spiritual truth that's calling you, that you're setting your sights to. And I feel like this nourishes you, because as you set your sights up there, as you look to the higher path, as you look to spirit or your spiritual universe kind of interests or truths that align with you, I feel like it nourishes you and it gives back. Like I can feel these vines, like green vines coming down from spirit, from the universe above, and feeding you and helping you grow within yourself. So there is something very nourishing about your spiritual connection. And I wouldn't be surprised, Nicki, if you haven't already, or have a calling to, is to spend more time doing your spiritual interests and your spiritual things. Maybe you're going back to church. Maybe you're finding something sacred and something spiritual to connect to, because this pull is so strong and it's elevating you. It's lifting you up, and it may be just what you need at this time. I can feel energy too pulling up from your sacral chakra, and it feels like a deep grief that's moving now. It's lifting up, and it's lifting up into your solar plexus, which is your power center. And I feel like this new sense of strength that's coming from your grief. So a strength that emerges from your grief is like an upliftment from that grief as well. And it's not that the grief is necessarily over or done, but I feel like it's another feeling of that rising up, but it's rising up from the grief and up into a sense of growth, and especially in regards to personal power and courage and strength in yourself and strength in life. So everything feels like it's just pulling up and pointing up. So spiritually, certainly, amplify or spend more time practicing your spiritual things and the things that nourish you spiritually, because I feel that this is it's called just calling so strongly. So see how you go with that, Nicki. Let's grab a card to finish this off. And the best card to add here is this. It's from the second deck, and it's card 100, Release the Guilt. It says, make a wrong right, drop your burdens, let the hurt go, correct a mistake that you've made, apologize, take responsibility, own it to move forward. So this is a part of you that wants to lighten or wants to rise. And if you're carrying burden, it could be grief or it could be guilt, that sort of thing. This becomes like a weight that you carry. So if you were like a pelican and you're trying to fly as high as you can, but you're carrying a bunch of sandbags, and the sandbags represent that guilt or those issues that you carry, then the pelican can only fly so high with all that weight that it carries. So this card's very much about clipping that weight so that the pelican or the bird within you can fly higher. Now this aligns with what I was feeling basically this whole time of your connection, Nicki, which is this sense of something pulling you up, something wanting you to rise and uplift. So if you feel heavy with burden, if you feel like you want to keep lightening up and you don't know why, I feel it's just this pull right now to spirit, and this pull for spiritual connection and spiritual meaning for the most part, then maybe imagine dropping that that baggage that you carry, especially if there's any guilt that you feel, and let that go so that you can rise higher. So how can you rise higher? You've gone into the depths, and when we come out from the depths, we tend to move up on that vertical axis. So the vertical axis, the depth takes us down, and that's that deep place that you've been in. And now you're being propelled up and out of the depth. So it's a bit like, another way of looking at it might be like a tree, and the tree roots. So you go down into the roots, that's the depth. The deep, dark, private kind of place that you move to. And then when the branches go through their growth, say through springtime, weather's getting warmer, a big growth spurt happens, or the deciduous trees develop their blossom or their leaves and their fruits or whatever, then all the energy goes up into the branches. So it feels like that kind of energy, the vertical, the roots up into the branches, or the depth up into that rise energy of the spirit, earth, physical and spiritual. So lightening your load. Thank you, Nikki. I trust this supports you, and sending you lots of love, and thank you for your support. Namaste. Okay, so that means lucky last person. Let's pop those cards back. Lucky last person is Carol White. So Carol, please take a nice big breath. So thank you everybody for joining me today. This is my last connection for this particular healing event, which happens every month. If you would like to be a part of it next month, towards the end of December. I'm missing a month. I can't do that. Towards the end of December, then please have a look at my Patreon. You can find the link here in the video description. And at the $50 level or higher, you can be you automatically are a part of this healing event. And you can just join for a one-off. You can stay for a few months if you need a bit of extra support. You can stay for a while. You can come and go. It's completely up to you. But if it's something that you feel you'd like a connection with or two, then please have a look further there, or let me know if you've got questions. Okay, Carol, nice big breath. Let's see what's happening for you. Okay, before I even pull your card, I feel like this twisting feeling that's twisting you down, like a drill, like a big drill, like a mining drill on a machine that's drilling down. And I can feel this drilling down feeling, like you're being drilled down into the ground, down into the earth. But I can also feel this very much linked to your base chakra, so your tailbone. Almost like there's a drilling that's happening in your tailbone as well, where you're being drilled down, and it doesn't feel comfortable. Like it doesn't feel like a comfortable energy to be sitting in. In fact, I feel head energy moving now. Let's quickly get a card, because this is coming in pretty strongly. So the card to start is self-love. So this is about making time to spend time with yourself. And it's certainly calmer than what I'm currently feeling. I can feel this drilling down through your base chakra. I also feel it drilling into your heart. And it's like you're being ground into somehow. It does feel uncomfortable, and it feels like maybe it's a test to try and break you, break you is the feeling. They're being drilled out here, drilled out there, drilled out across the board. And it feels strange after finding a fairly peaceful place that now suddenly things are there's this drilling energy that's trying to break you in some ways. It feels dark, it feels mechanical, and it feels uncomfortable, let's say. And there's a stunned feeling here too, like things just feel a bit stunned or a bit shocked. So there's this taken aback kind of feeling here as well. So first of all, I feel like now all I can hear is all this machinery and all this drilling, and it's coming from all different directions, and it is so loud. Like I can barely hear myself speak. So I feel like I want to go and turn off all of these machines. So like tractor here, drill there, hammer drill here, like all different types of drills. And just turning all of these off and just stopping the sound. And the sound in some ways is even more grinding than the actual drilling itself. So it's like loud. So turning that off and now sitting in the quiet. And now sitting in the quiet, we can gather our senses and assess what's happened here. And it feels like pieces are, it's almost like your favorite vase has fallen off the shelf and cracked before you, and maybe it was hard to see because the noise was kind of grinding, and now that things have stopped, you can see the pieces here of the vase as you gather the pieces together. There is emotion that's connected here. I feel like emotional energy moving in the heart. Feels like a quite watery, teary sort of energy as you gather the broken pieces of crockery or pottery here, the broken pieces of vase. They're very white, like porcelain. And you gather them up, just collecting them in a big pile. And you lay them down on the ground here on the right to rest. And this represents all the broken pieces, all of the disappointments, especially this year actually, all the disappointments that you felt, all the grief that you felt. It's been gathered and collected and it's been accumulating. So it's now reached that breaking point and has been gathered and collected and laid to rest here beside you as you lay everything that's been broken, everything that's been broken, everything that's broke this year into that. It includes finances, I feel, because this broke feeling, the concern about finances, all of that also going into this little hole where you're laying this broken vase and the pieces to rest. And it's more than that, though. It's more than just these broken pieces. It's all the connection, the energetic connection to these and what they represent. And it's not just one thing, even though one thing may have triggered the reaction, let's say. I feel like these are accumulation of things, especially from this year. It feels each little piece of this vase is something that you've been dealing with this year. So that's all stacked up. It's like stacked up in maybe 8 to 10 shards around the same size. So in the ground, they've been laid to rest and they just now merge back with the earth and return back to love. And here there's this silence it still feels a bit stunned, this stunned sort of energy, but feels silent now. So let's just move past that and we'll see what we need to do to support you. Okay, so I feel this rod of energy, which seems to be a bit of a theme today with alignment, but I feel this rod of energy coming in. It looks like a pole, like a timber pole coming in through your body just to help strengthen you and strengthen your spine and keep you upright. And also there's a top of this pole, so it looks like a big T that's coming across your shoulders just to help keep your shoulders up as well. So there's a strength in this, in the timber and the wood quality that's helping keep you strong and help keep your head up. That it feels like there's some things to sort of shed and let go of, especially in your heart here as you let go. But keep your sights on the star. So the star feels like hope. It feels like abundance. It feels like renewal. That keep your sights on that. So I see this bright glowing star. It's not like a star in our sky, but more like a painting of a star, like a very an over accentuation of a star, and it's got these arms that just stretch out, and it's very golden. And you're being encouraged to keep your sights set, keep watching, keep looking at this star, and keep that hope going, because that will pull you through this current bit of a hurdle. And it feels like a bit of a hurdle perhaps as you skip towards the end of the year. But there's going to be a shift, like a turnaround as well, in a really good way. So things are shifting and you're moving out of the heavy energy that you've carried through this year and moving into the lighter energy that you've carried this year. and that will then carry you forward into the new year, which feels abundant. So there's a golden arrow and still that star guides you along the way. So hope remains, even though you might not feel that much hope right this second. There is hope that remains that you've been encouraged to look to. So with this star, not only does it bring hope and renewal and abundance, it also shines this golden light down over you to help strengthen you through this time and help you just go with the flow of what you need. Sit in the quiet, sit in the silence as needed, and then stand up and get moving again as required, which you will do. And you will keep moving forward and you'll keep forging forward as you've always done, because it is a part of you. And I see now as you walk forward, it's like a golden, it might sound weird, but it looks like a rib cage, but it's gold, and you're walking through, it's like a U shape, but a tunnel, and you're walking through and it's just all gold. So gold, very much abundance moving forward and moving into a good place. It's interesting actually with the self-love card and all this gold, because the self-love card, when I drew that was like a pair of golden hands came and scooped me up into this other world. So this golden energy is drawing you, it's pulling you forward, and it really is spirit. It's your loved ones in spirit, it's your spiritual team, it's your higher self that's guiding you forward as well, especially during this particular time period. So holding you in love and support and hope and the golden light of spirituality, but also of your spiritual connections, but also abundance that's coming in and wrapping around you at this time. There's energy moving in your throat and quite deep down in here as you sit in the silence and you allow the noise just to cease for a time period. And it may be taking a break, it may be stopping things, it may be just sitting quietly. It might be all that you need over the next couple of days potentially. So that's that, Carol. Let's grab a card to see what that wants to add. There's energy moving in your throat as well. So just keep letting go and expressing and finding comfort in the silence, as difficult as it might be. But there's some gift. There's some gift in the silence, I feel. Okay, so the best card to add here, Carol, is this from the first deck. And it's Healing Hands, card 22. And it says hands, creativity, expression, building, making, caring, nurturing, receiving, emitting, extension, intentions. Bring something into form. So this is a time of healing. And it does feel silent, like these hands are emerging from the silence. So something silent, there's something quiet, there's something quite profoundly deep and private about the healing that you're going through now. And in some ways, I feel that this is also a turning point and almost a representation or a symbol of the next phase that you'll be moving into. And and moving forward to the expressing yourself, but it might not be through words, at least not straight away. It could be through action or through the things that you're doing. You might feel more comfortable writing, for example, rather than speaking. So something here with your hands as a way to express and keep the energy moving. So that's that. Thank you, Carol, and I trust this supports you. Sending you lots of love, and thank you for your support. Namaste. And thank you all, everyone, for connecting today, and I'll see you again soon. I think I'll be back in a couple of days on the 30th, which I don't know what day that is, Thursday or something. Yeah, Thursday. I'll be back on Thursday with our next healing event for patrons, the Healing List event. So have a good couple of days and I might see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.